Hello everyone, I'm Major Jip, and today I'm going to be taking a look at this Epson DX-10 printer. This printer I found at a local Goodwill for $9.99. I don't know anything about it, because searching DX-10 online for Epson brings up anything from vinyl cutting printers to different print heads for that printer. I couldn't find too much information about a smaller printer like this. I'm assuming it's just going to be a standard black and white printer from the late 80s, beginning of the 90s, maybe even older, I'm not sure. All I can tell is it looks very old. As you can tell, the box has seen some abuse over the years, but it is still sealed, which is pretty interesting, which is one of the reasons I got it. As well as you could see the sticker saying $9.99 electronics. 10/26 is when they put that out. Interesting. And let's see here. It's a bit unwieldy, as you would imagine. Label right there gives the serial number, the DX-10 model, and that it's AC 120 volts, which is good. It means it's for the US, which is where I am. So, hopefully this video will turn out okay, because there's only one unit I have here, and it's time to break the seal on it. So, let's just try and cut that nice and evenly. We'll pop the top open. Which reveals, indeed, a printer. Still wrapped up with styrofoam, as you'd imagine. A very heavy printer, in fact. I am somewhat surprised the styrofoam hasn't started breaking into pieces. It's all custom formed too, I like that. Shouldn't have just thrown that on top of there, but what are you gonna do? And we have a user's manual. Step-by-step setup instructions, word processing hints, and specifications. And unpacking instructions. Okay. Looks to be, that looks like a daisy wheel. Is this a daisy wheel printer? It could very well be. Cassette ribbon installed on carriage. That is what it's looking like. That'd be nice. I don't mind daisy wheel printers. Okay, let me get a better angle. Zoom in a little bit so you can get a better view of this. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've gotten it out of the package, as you can see. Hopefully I've gotten most of the reflections and glare and stuff out, so it looks halfway decent. From what I'm seeing on the screen, it should. I haven't unpackaged it fully yet. It's just kind of crazy seeing something so old, but the plastic is still brand new, as you'd expect. It's still in the package. It might have even yellowed over the years. I don't think so. It might have just been that cream color. And so let's take a look at the unpacking instructions, which you should hopefully be able to see. Hopefully I'm recording this in HD. I believe I am. And we have a Courier 10 daisy wheel in order to do printing. And the user's manual, with a nice picture of the printer itself, and just Epson user manual. I wonder if there's a date in here. Oh man, got a registration card. Epson America 2780, California. That makes sense. Reader response trusting. I am going to keep all this stuff. This is pretty neat. And no purchase date. I'm almost tempted to fill in this registration card and mail it in. Probably wouldn't get a response. Okay, so there's a copyright date in the manual of 1985, Epson America, and same location in California, FCC rules. And we got all kinds of stuff about unpackaging the printer and feeding in the paper, and a ribbon cartridge, which means this is going to work like the old typewriters where it has a ribbon and that's where the daisy wheel punches, which is nice, because that means there shouldn't be ink dried up inside of it. Hopefully it's not going to be like I think it was the Atari printers, where the wheel would start to fall apart. I think that actually used a rubber unit though. Anyway, getting off topic, let's see if this tape is going to come off after all of these years. Somewhat. You know, I'm not going to make you sit through this. I'm going to pause and pull all this tape and stuff off. Okay, so I believe I've gotten it pretty much all ready. They had all the packing material inside of here. There's also a piece of paper here, which it told me to remove. And also, there's two, and it shows it here. There are two screws holding this, moving piece on with collars. And it tells you to remove the screws and collars, which is interesting. Yeah, printers today, you don't have to remove screws for the carrier assembly. So, the ribbon is already in place. That's this right here. That was just the unpacking. So, I guess I'll now have to look into the manual to find out how to attach this. I believe all you have to do is pull this lever and the disc drops into place, but I don't want to risk damaging it, so I may as well look at the manual, because I'm certainly not going to be able to do this again. Alright, let's get a real close-up on this. First thing I'm going to do is remove this front cover here, which is holding back the ribbon. Then the ribbon itself should just lift out, which it does. And then it says for this, well, first thing you got to do is take it out of the package, obviously. Which, there we go. And it says, lift this and drop it onto that spindle. And there we go. So that should be all lined up, and now we can drop the ribbon back on. You probably didn't see any of what I did because I just noticed my hands were in the way. There wasn't too much, and I'm getting the ribbon stuck, which is not good. Okay. And that moves. Yeah, I probably shouldn't move it. That's a bad idea. Okay. Alright, let me put this thing back together and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the daisy wheel in place. I have the ribbon put back into place. I have it plugged in. Guess the only other thing to do is to turn it on, and I don't see a safety switch for the top, so I may as well leave that open. Switch is to the left here. And that glided across, no problem. Now I believe from reading in the manual, hitting that, moves it to the center. Make it easier to... What is FF and LF? Don't know. They don't do anything. Okay, didn't come with a printer cable, which doesn't make it much easier. I'm trying to think of what computer I can attach this to. I believe it has a standard serial printer port in the back. Does something like XP have native drivers for daisy wheel like this. Don't know. Maybe I'll try it with a Windows 10 laptop. No, I can't, because that one doesn't even have that type of port. Let me go looking around and see what I can find out to use with this. I'll be back. Okay, so I was able to dig up some computer that has a printer parallel port. That being this HP OmniBook something or other. I believe this is running Windows 2000. Originally came with Windows 98, and it's running some semblance of a Celeron processor. Still far newer than the machines that this thing is probably intended to be used with, but maybe Windows 2000 will have some native drivers. Provided this thing even loads up anymore. This is already on. It sounds like a jet airplane taking off. Uh-oh. I might have to use a bit of a newer computer for this. Okay, I'll be back. Alright, so the computer is trying to boot, but that hard drive doesn't sound too happy. If you can hear that. Yeah, it is booting up Windows 2000. I think the hard drive might have just crashed. I have other machines. Okay, so the HP has rather apprehensively decided it does want to play nice, at least for a little while, so I got the printer and everything hooked up. I guess let me try and get drivers or figure something out with Windows 2000 in order to interface with this printer. So we'll be back when I do that. Okay, so with Windows 2000 I went and added a printer, just a generic text device, text only, on the printer port. And now I'm going to print a test page. Hopefully I have the paper and everything lined up properly. So let's hit print test page. And it works. Oh, that is actually pretty cool. That worked perfectly. Let's see what the text looks like. Wow, nice and sharp. Looks like pretty much every letter and the spacing and everything all worked. The computer, the clock batteries went, So the computer thinks it's 1/1/1988, which is interesting. 1988 submitted time. Okay, format raw and all this other things about where it's spooling and whatnot. Alright, well, I think that's a pretty fun find. Works perfectly. It's still brand new. I'm going to have to find a place to put this where nothing bad will happen to it. This will be nice to have when I start getting into messing around with some of my older computers. It'd be nice to have a daisy wheel printer. Because I've always loved these things. They're slow, but they do have a very good job of printing. I wonder if you could still get... I bet you could even find rolls of ribbon for it still. Well, I hope you found that interesting. I certainly did. And, oh, by the way, I found out that this is actually advancing options. Okay, I think it's taking into account how many times I pushed the button. Anyway, thanks for watching. Feel free to leave comments and let me know if I did anything wrong. I'm sure I did. I'm not entirely too familiar with these things, but anyway, thanks for watching. Major Jip, out.